the Andromeda Intergalactic Council, believe it or not. Greetings in the light and love of our infinite Creator. We are very grateful for this connection. As more information emerges from various sources, the long-held secrets of non-human intelligence that have been concealed from humanity are finally beginning to see the light of day. This disclosure is not a singular event, but rather an unfolding of truths that have been buried for far too long. The reactions within the human collective in response to this disclosure are as varied as the individuals themselves. Some individuals find it nearly impossible to accept the existence of otherworldly beings as a part of their reality. Or they believe that all the galactic beings are negative, resulting in fear. This is leading to a disconnect between them and those who are open to these truths. This divide creates significant challenges in communication and understanding, as the skeptics often dismiss the experiences and insights of others who have encountered or experienced extraterrestrial craft, or the galactic beings themselves. We have stated before that once you witness the truth, it cannot be unseen, and this principle underscores the transformative power of awareness. On the other hand, there exists a considerable group of people who choose to ignore the topic of disclosure altogether for a multitude of reasons. This group often finds themselves deeply entrenched in their daily routines, preoccupied with the mundane aspects of life, and, as a result, they exhibit a disinterest in exploring these profound revelations. Within this same demographic, there are individuals who consider themselves spiritual workers or practitioners. Ironically, many of these individuals actively choose to overlook or discredit our messages and any discussion surrounding extraterrestrial and multidimensional disclosure. They often question the necessity of focusing on such revelations, arguing that attention should instead be directed toward personal spiritual development during these transformative times. While this is only partly true, it is important to focus on your vibrations during these times, but it is also important to understand your connection to the greater whole of existence. However, many of these beings seem to lack the understanding of their spiritual connection to the wholeness of creation and the interconnectedness of all existence. They are often only aware of their own inner light, yet they remain fearful of expanding beyond the familiar boundaries of the physical realm, thus limiting their own growth and understanding. While it is essential for each individual to maintain their unique perspective on existence, it is crucial to recognize that certain foundational truths remain evident. The process of disclosure is imperative for awakening the collective consciousness to the myriad of hidden realities that have deceived humanity for ages. If these truths remain unaddressed, the forces behind the deceptions would continue to operate unchecked, ultimately hindering the ascension of many souls and obstructing the creation of your new earth. Simultaneously, the increasing awareness of our presence has acted as a catalyst for awakening those who have long been trapped under a controlled narrative, effectively enslaved by misinformation and manipulation. As more information continues to be exposed, the revelation of the dark operations occurring behind the scenes will begin to diminish the activities of those who operate in the shadows. Once humanity become aware of these hidden agendas, the dark cabal on your planet can no longer pursue their dark objectives with the same level of secrecy and effectiveness. For many of you who have long been aware of this information, it may seem that what is being presented to the public is merely a soft disclosure, a gentle introduction to the deeper truths that remain concealed beneath layers of societal norms and historical narratives. This gradual unveiling of information, though it may appear to be subtle, is not to be underestimated. It serves as a crucial gateway for those who are just beginning to awaken to the broader realities of existence. As more individuals begin to engage with these ideas, it fosters an environment ripe for discussion, exploration, and ultimately, transformation. Nevertheless, it is essential to recognize that this represents a significant and positive step forward in the collective shift of awareness among humanity. The act of bringing these truths to light, no matter how gently, is a catalyst for change that encourages critical thinking and personal growth. It invites people to question long-held beliefs and to seek out knowledge that has often been obscured or dismissed. Understand that all will be exposed that has been hidden. and all will witness the truth, whether they believe it or not. As you embrace this unfolding, you are not just passive recipients of information, you become active participants in shaping the future of your galactic society. The revelations that emerge, no matter how incremental, play a vital role in guiding you toward a more enlightened and harmonious existence, where understanding and compassion reign supreme. With eternal love and deep respect, we witness you, we celebrate you, and we honor you. In the love and light of our infinite Creator, we are the Andromeda Intergalactic Council, here to serve the divine. The sacred moment of resistance. Everyone has resistance to difficult tasks, conversations, and habits. It's a moment when you feel like turning away from something, and then more often than not, you turn away from it. This is a sacred moment. I'd love to share more. In this moment of resistance, you're simply feeling fear. You rarely recognize it as fear. It can feel like anxiety, dread, overwhelm, boredom, frustration. But at a deeper level, it's simply fear. If we go below the label of fear, it's simply sensation in our bodies. It's an experience. It's the experience of being in the unknown. This is a very human moment. It's also a sacred moment, tender and vulnerable, when we are faced with possibility, but also uncertainty. What if we could slow down in this moment and just let ourselves experience the uncertainty, the unknown, the vulnerability, tenderness, possibility, and fear? What if we could breathe deeply and just sit in that experience? Then instead of turning away, we could turn towards. Find some gratitude for such a sweet, tender moment full of our humanity. From there, we could continue to step into the unknown and take action. Write a sentence, read a paragraph, make some kind of movement towards possibility. One movement at a time. And we could even do so with love. With love. Leo Babauta. Zen Habits. The Elders, Transition. What is death, and what does it mean to transition? Are these things synonymous? You see, there is much here, and we seek to share a bit more this day. Life has many occurrences, and do you recognize that maintaining a life for an indefinite period of time does have its limitations? It does have that which does minimize what might be accomplished. Let us say things change, and sometimes going with the flow is easier when you are a youngster, as opposed to being set in your ways. Transition life is ever-changing. And so at the time of death, you do transition from here to there. You do not stay earthbound unless there is an election made to remain fixed here. But we will say, there is less of that than more. Those you experience here that often appear to be the one who has passed on, well, what you believe may not be so. Unseen entourage. Often, your unseen entourage utilizes this opportunity to provide direction and insights. More often than not, this is what is perceived rather than the loved one remaining in the way you might suppose. But you see, there are those that you cannot see, and so these others utilize a means of communication that did not exist before. Before, you were not searching and seeking. Now there is a greater means to communicate and provide direction. At the time one transitions, they do formulate and move to join with their soul. Let us say there is a soul integration. This integration allows what was formulated while here on Earth to become integrated and absorbed. The soul, you see, utilizes the understandings that were gleaned while you are here. Your understanding is their means of better understanding what you had come to know. In-between time. Might we also touch on the in-between time? It is the time after death as one moves to transition from here to there. It is a time in which much does occur, and there is a pausing before the formulating for the next lifetime does occur. We will say that there is much that does occur in this time, and it is a time when much moves into formation and flow. There are many considerations, and those considerations are such that foundational footing is sought so that the next lifetime might yield more. But you see, the soul relies on what is believed from the last most recent embodiment to formulate what is to be put into play. But when beliefs are not all they might be, then less rather than more becomes incorporated into the next round of embodiment. Beliefs. This is why beliefs are so incredibly important. This is why what you think and believe must always be focused upon from the heart space, to ask if that belief is factual and actual. If it is not, then move away from it and look for something more. But we will say now that it is much better to release beliefs, for often there is a component within the mix that isn't all it might be. You see, you cannot know all here, but the mind will tell you that you know enough. We suggest that you may know less truth than more. Much is often not true, and those fallacies and falsities are not as you might believe them to be. Death. We saved this topic for last, for you already know what death means, but do you understand the finality it supposes? It is that often there is a confusion about that in between time, and so this will be covered here. You see, all is not as you might presume it to be, for how can one progress from here to there without some means of understanding? It is the understanding that will allow more to be. But if you adopt self-limiting beliefs, then at death, less will be. Less will become known, for a faulty belief system does cause less to be. Know this. Make it your objective to release beliefs once again. Coming face to face with dimensional selves. As dimensional fissures become an everyday occurrence, we find ourselves sailing down new passages of time in our homemade launch vehicles. What was long sought within history now slowly reveals itself and comes to the surface to be seen and documented. We have become light navigators in patterns of light that we never knew existed. We all sit at a collective point of light. Days and nights dance together as 24 hours seems to have condensed like cold tomato soup. Just like lights that slowly dim, one does not always feel or sense the shift. What we see in this new venue of light is yet to be formed. Each human is developing new lens, allowing them to see dimensionally. Love and forgiveness are a great balm, and should be applied generously. The child of light that lives within each person seeks to glide to the surface effortlessly like an island that surfaces in the night. Humanity is truly and deeply loved by that which first gave it light and life. As the good within humanity's heart flails about in its own sea of confusion, ancient codes come to the surface, codes of the heart, and great promises that seek to be kept and honored. We all come around the blind corner of self, face to face with dimensional aspects of our own being. Everything mirrors what we need to define. Most days we would like to just stay home and board the windows shut, but life demands more from us and she always gets what she wants. Source: arrayofflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light. Click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.